first time we kissed, I felt that spark was missing from every other girl. That spark that told me on our very first date, she was the one. But then, in the blink of an eye, something changed, and I felt her interest in me fading. Her responses took longer. Her answers were shorter. And as much as I tried to deny it, I knew it was coming.
Rob, you're really nice, but I just don't feel the same way anymore.
And then, the blow that would shatter me into a million pieces.
I've been seeing Jonathan.
Jonathan was her boss. And at this very moment, she's probably with him. I know if what I'm about to do doesn't change her mind, if it doesn't bring her back, she'll be gone from my life forever. Take a deep breath. Then I typed the 9-word text into my phone. And then I hit send. That's why, no matter how bad it felt losing a woman I was ready to marry to another man, I would happily go through every minute of it all over again because of what it led to next. I'd deal with the pain, heartbreak, and embarrassment because what happened next led to a secret discovery that took my dating life on the most dramatic and unexpected turns possibly imaginable. And although the story is painful and embarrassing to tell, what happened next not only gave me a second chance and had a girl I thought was gone for good reaching out and chasing after me, but if you have a woman slipping away, a female friend, coworker, ex, or any girl you have your eye on right now, this weird little secret I'm about to share has the power to do the very same for you. A secret discovery that has proven the real reason a woman rejects you, loses interest, ignores your texts, puts you in the friend zone, or pulls away after a couple of dates, even when things start strong between you. A shocking discovery, which led to a simple technique that transformed an ice-cold woman into my loving, loyal girlfriend in just weeks, leaving everyone around me who had told me to give up and move on, shocked and amazed how I finally escaped the friend zone and had her chasing me instead of the other way around. Going from this to this. Yet, more importantly, everything that happened in my dating life up until that point, heartbreak, the disappointment, the constant rejection, why girls never felt that spark, why they never felt the same level of passion and excitement to be with me. Not only for the first time did it finally make sense, but I saw how simple and easy it was to fix with one simple technique I'm going to show in a minute. The same simple technique that miraculously gave me the power and upper hand with the girl everyone, including my own mother, told me to let go, and completely defies all the common advice a man is told about what women want, what they crave, what they desire and chase. A simple technique that freed me from the mental exhaustion, confusion, and pain of chasing after a girl who was constantly slipping away, while restoring my confidence, my mojo, and my ability to be charming and attractive to girls, even more so than I was in my 20s. And that's not all. My Uncle Steve, who was 56 years old, alone, resigned to being single for the rest of his life, he used the same dating technique to meet, attract, and marry a beautiful woman 14 years younger, who treats him like the prize. Him charged and full of vitality, the two of them sneaking off into the bedroom. We honestly thought Steve was a lost cause with women, so it was refreshing to see him given what only can be called a second love life. His new attitude projecting the fact that he's not the least bit scared to be single again because he's finally got women figured out, and he knows the exact moves to spark a woman's interest, desire, and instinct to chase after a man, even when you're not her typical type and nothing like the guys she normally goes for. As weird and unbelievable as everything still feels at times, all of this is because of a simple technique that I was fortunate enough to have accidentally stumbled onto and discovered. The technique I call the scrambler turns everything you thought possible about female attraction and what women chase completely upside down. And now that I've used this to meet and soon marry my beautiful girlfriend, I have an internal obligation to pay it forward to you. So, mark my words, if you're struggling to attract a specific woman, if you continually lose girls' interest after a couple of dates, If you feel like women always have the power and upper hand, or you just lose your confidence around the girls you really like, this technique is about to transform your dating and sex life in every way that counts. Now, let me be clear. This has absolutely nothing to do with pickup lines, dating apps, dressing better, or worse, useless advice like just be yourself or tell her how you feel. I promise you, this is something completely different than anything you've ever seen before. Because this has to do with one innocent test I guarantee you're failing with every single woman you meet that determines her attraction towards you, if she'll ever commit, if she'll sleep with you, and whether or not she'll chase and pursue you or get bored and move on. When we get this one test wrong, the outcome is crystal clear. No matter how much she initially liked you, pretty soon, she'll lose interest, disappear, or give you the sad and pathetic friend zone speech. And all of your sending her flowers, giving her gifts, awkwardly confessing your feelings, or even your attempts at playing the game will only drive her further away. Hello, and welcome. My name is Rob Judge. And the most ironic part of my seriously bizarre story is that just prior to being blindsided and badly rejected by a girl who I believed was in love with me and completely killed my confidence and left me powerless and emotionally out of control around women, was at that point in my life I had already turned things around and had my dating life pretty much handled. See, in my early 20s, I studied the dating game and discovered a few tricks that enabled me to go from being an introverted 21-year-old virgin to seemingly having my choice of girls throughout my 20s. I'd slept with models and actresses, and although I'm not proud of this now, I was actually recognized as one of the top pickup artists on the planet. So yeah, talk about a painfully embarrassing fall from grace. Now, while I left my pickup artist days of cold approaching girls in bars and clubs behind me, because I have a 6-year-old daughter that means the world to me, I have, let's just say, a long list of research and development with women under my belt. I've spoken on stages across the country. CEOs, entrepreneurs, NFL athletes, Hollywood directors, and even most of the well-known dating coaches out there have paid me silly amounts of money for one-on-one help in their dating life. Yet, most fulfilling to me was being able to help normal guys around the world transform their interactions with women through my best-selling dating advice programs, which implement the most cutting-edge flirting, conversation, and attraction-building strategies available at the time. However, here's the big catch not many people talk about. Even the most cutting-edge approaching, flirting, and conversation tactics only temporarily capture a woman's attention, but do nothing to cure the root cause of her losing interest and pulling away. Which is why a woman who started off hot and heavy for you, texting you all the time, always available to hang out, seemingly out of nowhere, will cut you off and reject you. This is also why a female friend or a coworker might have initially been flirty and suggestive towards you, then she quickly becomes cold and disinterested in you romantically. And I'll tell you right now, the absolute worst thing a guy can do when a woman starts pulling away is everything the magazines, mainstream media, and women tell us to do. Buy her flowers, gifts, confess your feelings, endlessly try to convince her you're the one, because all of that has the opposite effect. Believe me, I tried it all with Adriana, and it just makes you look needy and desperate, killing any attraction she still might have had toward you. With that said, this is exactly why if I add everything I've accomplished over the past 13 years coaching men, all of my experience, all of the beautiful women I've personally been with, and all of the women I've helped my clients meet and sleep with, the millions of remarkable transformations that I'm so humbled and proud to have been a part of, combine them all together, and it pales on every level to the breakthrough in female attraction you'll see in a few minutes. Just watch the rest of this short video. Try what I'm going to show you. And if it doesn't immediately transform your dating life as I promised, I will gladly send you over $2,000 worth of international best-selling dating systems for free. But I'm telling you right now, you're not going to need to, because this technique I call the scrambler instantaneously delivers what thousands of men around the world are appropriately calling a secret little love pill. I'm talking about automatically and effortlessly having her work to win you over, pursuing you, treating you like the prize she can't live without, making you more desirable to girls you meet, seemingly overnight, all in an under-the-radar way that makes her think it was her idea to fall for you. And if you find this to be somewhat far-fetched, I can promise you it's not. So just keep watching. The scrambler technique has worked for myself, my Uncle Steve, and now countless, thousands of everyday men, college students, professionals, single dads, even grandpas from all walks of life. So if you've been trying to find a girlfriend or finally make one specific girl yours and only yours, yet nothing seems to be working, or worse, you seem to do all right at first with a girl, only to continually mess things up and eventually blow it. Trust me, you're not alone. And it's definitely not your fault. No one teaches us this stuff. I had to learn the hard way. As I mentioned earlier, at 35 years old, I came out of a messy divorce, a single dad, and the only thing in the world I wanted was to find the right woman to settle back down with. But I quickly realized that my game was rusty, and things didn't come as easily to me as it did in the glory days of my 20s. It was like the minute I started to like a girl, no matter how good things initially seemed between us, she'd eventually pull away. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but I was continually failing a very simple test that 99.9% of men out there are failing too. Chances are you failed this test in the past, and you never even realized why she left or what really went wrong. When this happened to me, sometimes I blame women and say, they're all messed up in the head nowadays. Sometimes I'd blame my situation and feel sorry for myself and assume she wanted someone younger, richer, or better looking than me. However, I was not content with settling. I was not going to be one of those guys married to an unhappy, unattractive woman I was only with because I couldn't find anyone better. I also didn't want to spend my life in the soul-sucking world of swiping on Tinder or hitting up old lady bars. Now, it all came crashing down on me when I met Adriana. Somehow I stumbled into a relationship with her, and that relationship turned into a 6-month spiral into the depths of emotional despair, obsession, and the inability to focus on anything else in my life other than getting her back. Sometimes I'd try to play it cool and not text her too much. Other times, I'd try to be funny and witty with daily messages to stay on her mind. I'd plan fun and interesting dates, be a gentleman, show up to her house with a bouquet of roses, offer to help when she needed it, do her all kinds of favors, and basically portray myself as the perfect guy. As pathetic as this sounds, I even shook her boss, Jonathan's, hand, even though I knew he was trying to sleep with her. And when nothing was working, I went in the opposite direction and tried being cold right back to her, giving her ultimatums like, if you cancel another date, I'm not putting up with it. But truth be told, I always did. I could almost never walk away. And like all women, she instantly knew it. And she knew that she had me. That was a huge part of the problem. Yet, crazily enough, the drama with Adriana set me on a path to discovering the one thing that astonishingly would fix absolutely everything. And you're about to be blown away when you see what it is in just a few moments. I knew that being the typical nice guy was not going to work, but I made all the nice guy mistakes anyway. There's a sad irony in dating, that most of the things we think will help us get a woman usually hurts our chances with her. But no one tells us this, especially not women. Normally, a woman will just give us a vague excuse like, I don't feel it, or I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Or you're really nice, but I like you as a friend. But they'll almost never tell us why they really lost interest in us, or why they rejected us without even giving us a chance. And although you constantly hear, don't be the nice guy, no one really tells you what to do instead, or what's so bad about being nice. I love and respect women, and especially now that I have a daughter. The last thing I want to do is have to turn into some kind of jerk or asshole to keep a woman attracted to me. Fortunately enough, a celebrity friend of mine connected me with a guy he said understood female psychology at a deeper level than anyone he had ever met, and was the master of killing off your inner nice guy and explaining exactly what to do instead. Now, about halfway through my first session with Bobby Rio, he told me to throw everything I thought I knew about the game out the window. I admit it was a humbling experience, as here I was, a guy known as one of the greatest pickup artists in the world, down on his knees begging Bobby for advice. And then, in an honest and blunt tone, he says, "Rob, you're suffering from one of the worst cases of nice guy syndrome I've ever seen. This means not only are you giving her all the power, which is a huge turnoff to a girl, but you're failing to give a woman what is by far the single most important part of her falling in love with you. What do you think that is?" he asks. I shook my head. I had no idea anymore. Then Bobby says, "She has to think about you when you're not around. The biggest problem with nice guy behavior is that you become too easy to figure out. She knows, I got this guy, and there's nothing left for her to think about. And once a woman knows she has you, it's over, and you'll never have her." He then asked me, "Have you ever watched a cat play with a piece of string? When the string is dangling above its head just out of reach, the cat goes crazy trying to get it. It leaps in the air, dancing around, and chases it all over the room. But as soon as you let go of the string and it drops right between the cat's paws, a weird thing happens. It just looks at it for a second, gets bored, walks away." Girls are the exact same way. The easier you are to catch, the more bored and less interested she becomes. You see, it goes against her nature. She wants to chase you. She wants the dancing string. This is because a woman's attraction, attachment, and ultimately her commitment to you hinges 100% on how much time she spends thinking about you, anticipates seeing you, building you up in her mind. It made perfect sense, as every girl I had fallen the hardest for was the girls I spent the most time thinking about, analyzing her behavior, and obsessing over with my friends. Over the next hour or so, he laid out exactly why being the dancing string works, which is why I'm going to sum it up for you right now. So you must pay very close attention to this next part. He explained that although there are many ways a woman will test a man, the ultimate test is how much does she miss you when you're not around? How much time does she spend wondering when she'll see you again? Does she get jealous, imagining you're with another woman? Basically, everything good, everything positive, everything that matters when it comes to a woman falling in love with you happens during her time away from you. If she finds herself thinking about you, or better yet, analyzing your behavior, rereading your texts, talking about you to her friends, her attraction and desire to be with you grows. Here's the best part. It happens even if she wasn't that attracted to you to begin with. Maybe you've experienced this yourself with a woman, where at first you were only so-so about her, but then her mixed signals caught you off guard, and pretty soon she was all you could think about. Most importantly, during this period of confusion and uncertainty, she begins to invest more into the relationship, works harder to attract you, places more and more value on being with you, and it triggers her evolutionary desire to chase you. And when she starts chasing you instead of the other way around, you become way more attractive in her mind. Things that might have been flaws, like your age, looks, lack of money, become part of your appeal, because it allows her to say to herself, "I don't know what it is. There's just something about him." And she'll start texting you more. She starts making plans to hang out, wearing sexier outfits around you, holding your hand, kissing you first, using her entire body to entice you and make you hers. Whether she had you in the friend zone or she already started pulling away, when you become the dancing string, it triggers this compulsive desire to chase you, quickly transforms you into a man she can imagine marrying. Point blank, when a woman spends time thinking about you, it's like Miracle-Gro for love and attraction. It allows you to plant little seeds and have them bloom into full-blown obsession with being with you. With all that being said, you may be getting an idea of the damage we're doing to our love lives by being too predictable and easy to figure out. The common condition called nice guy syndrome. Nice guys are like a movie where the woman already knows the ending, so she has no incentive to keep watching. She just changes the channel and looks for someone more interesting to occupy her mind. This is because once a girl figures out that she's the one holding the power, her attraction to you plummets. And you're more likely to win the lottery than make her your girlfriend. So you can say goodbye to her sexy dresses, her physical affection, her increased sex drive, flirty messages, and say hello to cold, one-word replies, her busy schedule, nonstop excuses, and the inevitable friend zone speech, the "I just don't feel it" text, or the heartbreaking "I met someone else" conversation that I had to endure. And most guys don't just mess this up with one woman. It's a pattern they repeat over and over again without ever realizing why so many women are scared away. Why the ones you really like never like you back in the same way. So, obviously, nice guy behavior is something we need to avoid at all cost. However, here is the incredibly alarming part, and why even if you think I know this, you absolutely must pay attention. Because if you wait to text her back, or you don't reveal how much you like her right away, and you think you're playing the game, you're likely not doing anything at all to have her actively and obsessively thinking about you, which she needs to be doing in order to have her chasing you. It's about doing specific things when you're with her and when you're away from her that crawl inside her head and make her obsess about you nonstop. Let me repeat that. This isn't about simply waiting to text her back or being less available. In fact, when a lot of guys play hard to get, it's like a tree falling in the forest. It doesn't make a sound, and she never even notices. And it's only going to get harder for nice guys. This is because right now women are being barraged with texts, emails, Tinder, Facebook, Instagram, and it's causing women to take longer to commit to a new relationship. See, since women have had so many more options nowadays, they're playing the game and testing men more. And this causes even the most laid-back, rational guy to lose his mind, to overreact to an ignored text, or constantly be available and trying too hard to impress a woman or win her over. See, a lot of guys mistakenly believe the only way to stand out from other guys is to give a woman more attention, to be more available, or to prove how much you have in common with her, that you're the perfect guy, or you'll treat her better than all the other guys in her phone. But think of attention, compliments, physical affection, and emotional attachment like firewood. A little at a time is perfect, but if you put it in all at once, you smother the fire and it fizzles out before it can get bigger. And here's a sad and simple fact. If you had her interested at one point, you were this close. But chances are, nice guy syndrome took over and ruined her attraction toward you. It happens to the best of us. It's almost like Jekyll and Hyde. On one hand, we know we need to play the game a bit, but then Hyde takes over and goes on a nice guy binge of weak, needy, and wuss-like behavior. And pretty soon, her opinion of you swirls down the dreaded friend zone drain. Then he said, the biggest reason guys fall into nice guy syndrome is because they have no clue what to do instead. Luckily, it's easy to fix. And I'm going to show you how to turn yourself into the dancing string she can't help chasing, even if you already messed up, even if she wasn't that into you to begin with. The more string dangles, the harder she'll chase you. Then he turned over a napkin that was on the table in front of him and began jotting down what to do. Rob, follow the instructions on this piece of paper exactly. It lays out exactly what you should do to get her to go from being mildly interested in you to flat out obsessed with being your girlfriend, lover, or wife. And make sure you do everything listed. Using one or two of the techniques on their own will be mildly beneficial, yet you'll be absolutely amazed at the synergistic effect when you follow them in the exact order as I've instructed. Now, I recognized a few of the techniques on the list from over the years, but could instantly see how done with this specific order could completely capture a woman's attention and make her chase you. For instance, a word-for-word text message sequence that re-engages her once she goes cold and has her messaging you again, all under the radar so you don't risk scaring her away again. Next was the word rebalance, and it listed a handful of techniques designed specifically to establish more power and respect from a girl, especially if she's put you in the friend zone or no longer sees you in an attractive way. What was great is that each one of the moves was subtle and innocent, so that she would never figure out you were using a technique on her. Then he showed me this picture and explained the exact way to use it to ignite jealousy and intrigue in a girl so that she quickly becomes consumed with thinking about you. It's part of a series of moves designed to make her sit up at night wondering where you are, who you're with, and why you're not cuddled in bed with her where you belong. Then there was the word validation. And I could instantly see how once you put this plan into action, she would be the one seeking your approval and validation, desperately trying to impress you, instead of you constantly working to win her over. And he explained how there's a certain type of validation you can give to a woman that makes her feel such a deep and emotional connection to you that she literally becomes addicted to being around you. Then the words mixed signals were scribbled on the paper, and how to use them to create an emotional roller coaster for the girl that gives her the drama she secretly craves, so that she becomes addicted to figuring out the ending of the movie and won't stop pursuing you until she's practically begging to be your girlfriend. As I thought of all the girls I had been obsessed with over the years, I could see how they used similar moves on me. Finally, the word lust, which, because physical intimacy is like the oxygen that keeps the fire burning, so you have to use moves that spark strong sexual attraction so you can sleep with her and solidify her feelings for you. One thing nice guys often find out is that if you don't take things to a physical level with a woman when the iron's hot, things fizzle out and you wind up in the friend zone. In the end, it was a completely unique set of moves done in a specific order that work perfectly together to get a woman chasing you and totally and completely invested in being with you and you only. I sent out the first text, and just like he explained, it started a chain reaction, where suddenly her interest was alive again. And although it was just the beginning, I could sense that our roles were beginning to reverse, and she was becoming the pursuer, and I was becoming the prize. And with this plan in hand, a lot of emotional baggage and worry I had been carrying disappeared, because I no longer felt hopeless and lost. I knew exactly what my next move with her would be, which made me more confident and bold, which only made her want me even more. Pretty soon, her texts started flooding my phone again. She was flirtatious and fun and eager to keep the conversation going. Within 2 weeks, we were hanging out. The dynamic between us completely different than it had been. I could see the attraction and respect in her eyes, the way she stood closer to me, laughed a little more at my jokes, and used every excuse in the book to touch me, to put her hands all over my body. And less than a month later, she was lying in bed with me, giggling and staring at me, her legs wrapped around me. And the best part was, she thought it was entirely her idea to reignite the romance. Now, truth be told, I was now the reluctant one to settle back down. Now, when I saw how easy it was, how much power I had in the dating scene, I never felt more thankful, more grateful, or more fortunate in my life. I felt as I'd been gifted a new lease on my love life. Like I found a time machine that took me back to the point right before nice guy syndrome turned me into a shell of myself. And what was even better was that I no longer had a fear of losing her, and she could tell that I was willing to walk away, that I had options outside of her, and that I would never again settle for second best. And what I found was that this attitude is like a natural aphrodisiac for women. It ignites an unquenchable sexual desire in her. There is something about a man she can't fully have that has her aching to sleep with you, give herself over to you completely. This worked so well for me that I had to share the series of moves called the Scrambler with my Uncle Steve. Steve was heavy in the friend zone with a younger woman he had worked with for years. So he started making simple changes like I recommended and quitting the nice guy behavior she had come to expect from him, and using an under-the-radar way to ramp up the sexual tension that had already been there between them. Right before he finally kissed her, she said, "I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something different about you." After seeing how well the Scrambler worked for myself and my uncle firsthand, along with some of Bobby's friends I knew had used it, I wanted to share it with my clients, specifically those struggling to get that one hard-to-get girl, and I was set on doing so. Yet, there were a few big problems, though. One at a time, the Scrambler was only a loose set of moves that Bobby had only shared with a few of his private clients, and he'd never taught it publicly before, so I wasn't sure if I could convince him. 2, I had just used it on my girlfriend, and didn't know how she'd react discovering that I was just following a plan that she had perfectly fallen for. 3, the Scrambler is based on serious psychological patterns and principles. And while I instantly understood it because I had been studying the game for so long, I wanted to make sure we could simplify it so that the average guy would instantly be able to get the same results. Not only that, but I knew a lot of my clients were single. So I wanted to make sure it would work on new girls you're just meeting, like your yoga instructor, the girl who serves you coffee in the morning, a random woman who sits near you in class, or even a cute new secretary you have your eye on. I also knew that, like my Uncle Steve, many of our clients are guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So we need to make it accessible to them so they could be confident it would work in their unique situations. Facing these 3 problems felt like fate, because I knew if there was anyone experienced, qualified, and connected enough to solve these 3 problems, it had to be me. And I knew this was going to be my one chance to help all guys I'd been unable to before. First, I broke down the scrambler to my girlfriend. If I was going to teach it, I had to be sure that it wasn't morally objectionable to women. My girlfriend gave me the seal of approval and even laughed at how hard she had fallen for a few of the techniques. And she told me that she wished more nice guys would know this stuff. That way, girls wouldn't have to settle for deadbeats and losers. Next, Bobby and I began to refine the scrambler over the next few months, tweaking and improving for various situations that would come up, like how to walk the fine line between letting her know you like her versus coming on too strong and clingy. We actually discovered a simple technique to express romantic interest in a woman without giving away your power or losing the upper hand, how to be persistent and get her out on a date without appearing clueless or desperate. If you've already made big mistakes with a woman, we discovered how to wipe her mental slate clean so you get a fresh start with her. It's like she sees you for the first time with a new set of eyes, even if she's already rejected you or placed you in the friend zone. For the guys using the scrambler on women they're just meeting off Tinder or through work or their social circle, how to subtly position yourself as the prize, the guy women chase within a few minutes of meeting her, and how to control and amplify her interest until it grows into heart-pounding attraction where you become the only man she can think about, the only man she imagines herself being with. And finally, because we knew our clients were at all different levels with women, we mapped out word for word examples of what to say when you have her in front of you, the best conversation topics to have her falling in love, and step-by-step instructions for finally closing the deal and bringing her back to your bedroom. Every night, Bobby and I would write for hours after work, compiling all the amazing results and making the formula even better. If you're like a lot of guys hearing this for the first time, this can make your head swim a little bit and leave you with a lot of questions. Since we started teaching this and giving private talks on it, we've heard them all. How much interest should I show? When do I stop playing hard to get? How often should I text her? How will I know when it's working? The more guys we taught this to, the more questions we got. What's the best way to make your move on a female friend? How do you make her jealous if she's the only girl in your life? What can you do during no contact to make her miss you? Can you plant seeds of the scrambler in more than one girl at a time? And what is the exact sequence of the scrambler? I get it. Those are very good questions, and we have specific answers to all of them. Again, my name is Rob Judge, and a little over a year ago, I talked Bobby Rio into holding a private seminar with me in my house in Scottsdale, Arizona. We invited 10 of our best students who paid us over $1,000 each to be there in person. And over the course of 2 days, we handed these students every step of the scrambler, every chess move, every subtle thing you can do to have a woman chasing you for sex and relationships. Best of all, we made it cookie cutter simple to follow. For instance, you learn the exact moment you must pull away from a girl if you want to shift gears and get her chasing you. Did you know there's a simple question you can ask a girl that'll instantly tell you if she's ready to sleep with you, so you never have to risk rejection or embarrassment? Did you know that most girls expect you to play the game? This is why the 2-day rule, or waiting 20 minutes to text her back, is a joke. She's sitting there going, "Oh God, another guy waiting 2 days to text me." One thing you must know about girls: when she expects you to zig, it's time to zag. I bet you already know that girls are hardwired to want what they can't have. You probably didn't know that if you start playing hard to get before you fully capture her attention, she'll just think you're disinterested, gay, or too shy to make a move. This is why it's crucial to follow the exact sequence laid out in the scrambler. That was it. We'd done it. We'd successfully created a step-by-step formula for turning even the coldest girl into your loving, loyal girlfriend, lover, or wife. We immediately sent the recording of the seminar to 25 of our clients. They simply felt like the game had become impossible and nothing was working to attract the type of women they truly desired. The results were more incredible than I even imagined. This is what Nick wrote. "A huge thanks to you and Rob, and most importantly, the scrambler. I landed the girl and it was fucking awesome." Listen to what our student Jeffrey just wrote us. "I'm 56 years old. I used the scrambler on a 31-year-old Latina girl I met online. Last night, she spent the night, and now she wants to spend the entire weekend with me. I hope my endurance can handle it." The feedback by the entire group was staggering. Guys busting out of the friend zone. Guys finally turning Tinder matches and meetups into sex and relationships. Guys reigniting the interest of the girl who got away. Having ex-girlfriends beg them back. Confidence restored. Dating lives suddenly full of options and opportunity. That was it. All of the feedback confirmed what I dreamed would be the case. This was a simple fix for guys who thought that situations were unsalvageable, that they would never get the type of girl deep down you know you deserve. With the power now in my hands, I made it my life's mission to help as many guys as I possibly could transform their social, dating, and sex lives with this breakthrough formula. And that's exactly why I'm so excited for you to be here today. Because Bobby and I packaged up the videos and workbooks from the seminar into a home study course where you get full access to the entire seminar, the workbooks, the strategy guides, and have everything you need to put the Scrambler into use and start seeing the same amazing results all these other men have already experienced. I'm honored to introduce you to Unlock the Scrambler, the only proven formula that eliminates nice guy behavior for good, turns the tables, and has women chasing you instead of the other way around. It's the only system designed to reverse any mistakes you may have made with a woman, allowing her to see you in a more attractive light and transform her interest into full-blown obsession with becoming your girlfriend. Let me be clear. No one has ever come close to teaching anything like the Scrambler. When you want to ignite the interest and attraction of a woman or re-engage the girl who got away, just follow the formula, step by step. The Scrambler puts the game on autopilot. No more worrying if the text you send or the move you make will hurt your chances with her or get her closer into bed. Just sit back and let the Scrambler do the work. And you'll be able to get access to this entire attraction transforming formula in less than 2 minutes. First, let me ask you this. How much would it be worth to you to finally make that one woman you really want your loving, loyal girlfriend? To wake up beside her, smiling, and feeling completely secure that she's yours, all yours. How much would it be worth to not only reverse mistakes you've made with women in the past, but literally turn your perceived weaknesses like age, looks, or status into traits that she can't help but admire and chase? How much would it be worth to be fully in control of your dating life? No more stumbling through Tinder, wasting years of your life alone. How much is it worth to have her on your arms, traveling with, showing off at parties, everyone noticing how her eyes and attention are completely glued on you? Just think about that for a second. When you get your dating life, or even your marriage handled, how much extra time and brain power can you finally devote to other areas of life? $10,000? $20,000? $50,000? Could you really even put a number on it? Well, don't worry. You're going to experience all of this for nowhere near what you're thinking or what you'd happily pay. This isn't about money for me. This is about me knowing that until I figured this out, I felt stuck, obsessively playing a mental chess game in my mind with women, a game I always lost. This is about having lived through the endless pain, frustration, and helplessness of watching a girl I was into wind up in bed with another man and not being able to do anything about it. I do not want you to needlessly suffer any longer the way I have. Now, as I mentioned, tickets to the invite-only seminar were $1,500 each, and the value you'd get from the recordings, I'm confident, is worth twice that, as it has the power to permanently change your dating and sex life and have you land that one woman you really want. The last thing I want is for price to stand in your way. So, even though we will be forced to charge a minimum $297 for access to the HD footage from the entire seminar in the upcoming days to cover costs, you won't have to pay that today either. Right now, today, you can get the full secret seminar recordings for $79. After watching it just once, you'll be an expert on using the Scrambler to find a wife, girlfriend, or just some casual fun with a female friend, coworker, or even the girl who serves you coffee at Starbucks. It's your call. But that's not it, because we also decided to include some additional bonuses that I think you're going to love. The first bonus is a video called Invisible Escalation. And this special video is like a playbook for creating under-the-radar sexual tension on a female friend, coworker, or classmate, so that she begins feeling sexual attraction to you and has no clue you're using a technique on her. Then, you're going to get our She's Sending You Signals report. Discover every hidden signal she's sending to the point you can actually read her mind and know exactly what she's thinking. This report shows you how to decode even the most hard-to-read girl. You're going to get the boyfriend destroyer sequence. If she's already dating someone and you know she likes you, but she's too scared to leave her boyfriend, this sequence gives her the permission she needs to finally rush into your arms. And it will do it without bad-mouthing her boyfriend or doing anything to compromise your values or integrity. You'll also get The Dirty Dozen, 12 conversation topics to insert into your conversation that create a love loop in her mind and have her go home later that night and think, wow, I think I'm falling in love with him. You'll learn all 12 topics and how to effortlessly slip them into conversation. And then an entire video walking you step by step, word for word, through our super effective re-engagement text sequence that allows you to reach out to a woman who got away and slowly reel her back in until she's chasing you to the bedroom. And a handful of other special bonuses we'll surprise you with in the private members area, where you can download all the material or view it all online. That said, we're only able to guarantee the special pricing and bonuses for today. And just let me be super clear about a few things. You'll never be able to buy Unlock the Scrambler with a better package than today. And Unlock the Scrambler will never be available for purchase at any other website. Furthermore, rest assured, this is a one-time payment. There are no hidden charges or subscription fees whatsoever. I've always hated that stuff as much as you do. So when you click the link below, you'll get taken to an order recap page where you'll see everything you're going to get within minutes from now. Then, click the Add This to Cart button to proceed to our 256-bit secure order page that looks like this. Then, fill in your order information and confirm your order to our 100% safe and secure order form. Everything is completely private, and the charge shows up as ClickBank. And listen, because I'm so confident that you'll experience more profound life-changing results than literally anything you've ever purchased before, I'm not just promising the results. I'm going to completely guarantee them. I'm giving you a 60-day, no questions asked, 100% money-back guarantee to make getting started an absolute no-brainer for you. If using the Scrambler doesn't turn out to be the best decision you've ever made, or if you change your mind for any reason whatsoever, just let us know anytime in the next 60 days and we'll refund you the purchase price right away. My team and I are extremely easy to get a hold of. There's simply no risk to you. The only risk you could possibly face is the one of pain and regret if you miss out on experiencing this life-changing formula when you had the chance. We know how amazing it's going to feel for you when you notice the pendulum of power swing noticeably to your side. The change in her is actually palpable. You can just see her becoming attracted to you, developing feelings, and looking at you with that anticipation. I call it the doggy dinner bowl look. Her head sort of tilted, those trance-like eyes glued on you, just begging to be kissed. When she's drawn towards you like a magnet, you won't part with this material for any price. But you really do have to act now. We're selling this program with all the bonuses at a special price, but this offer will not be available for long. Remember, none of the well-meaning advice you've gotten from friends or anything you've tried up till now has even had a chance at working. And now you know why. And even though you may not realize it at this moment, right now you've come to a very real crossroads of a once-in-a-lifetime choice you must make between two very different realities. Choice one is keep doing what you're doing now, and more than likely, the girls you really like will keep slipping away. Sadly, by next week, she could be gone into the arms of some other guy, sleeping with him, giving herself over to him. You'll continue to put time and effort into meeting a girl and getting to know her, only to watch her slip through your fingers before you can turn it into anything meaningful. If you keep making the same mistakes, her attraction towards you is going to continue to plummet. If you've watched this far in the video, it means you don't want this reality, and I don't want it for you. Right now, there are girls in your life who are still undecided about you. Every wrong move you make and more of the attraction she felt towards you is disappearing. Before you know it, any chance you had with her will be long gone. If you do this wrong and bore her, creep her out, or seem needy or unattractive, you'll waste time and money, and you'll have to come back here anyway. And when you do, this deal won't be available anymore. There's another reality available for your choosing. A new reality that has been chosen by other men that have been through the same once-in-a-lifetime crossroads before you. A reality where the girl you really want is chasing you tonight. A reality in which you get her to your place, you get her clothes off, and finally experience the ultimate satisfaction of making her your girlfriend, lover, or wife. A reality where you finally feel like you have a choice and options and power and control over your dating life. Where you're finally free of the mental anguish, free of the frustration, and free of the one-way romances where you seem to be the only one invested in the relationship. Free of what was holding you back from women and relationships you truly deserve. And let's face it, this is the reality you've been waiting for your whole life. You may never forgive yourself if you let today's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slip between your fingertips. It's time to do the smart thing, the right thing for you, while you still can. Click on the link below and take advantage of today's 100% risk-free opportunity to claim the dating and sex life you truly deserve.